Good afternoon, welcome back to the channel. So we're out here in some bean stubble and we are just preparing to move the combine. We're fueling up. We've been through and we've just given it a single pass with the Claydon Terrace Star. Just want to show you how that's turned out. A fairly adequate cultivation, but if you move it with your foot, actually most of the ground is unmoved and you get these occasional puncture marks where it's done a fair mix. Unfortunately, a large mat of bean residue remains, and this is going to be a challenge for our next crop of low input winter wheat. I mean, fundamentally we've had a big crop of beans, so we're going to get a lot of residue. Still got something like that. We have stubble raked this before, and I'll just give you some footage on the headland. So we are left with some of these occasional sort of chunks on the headland. Not very big. They're obviously the sort of width of the stubble rake. His hope is that there's quite a lot of soil mixed in with it. There's not a lot of moisture at the moment. We'll try and probably move this around again with the stubble rake before I come in and do another pass with the Terra Star. For those of you who don't know, we will be planning to drill with a disc drill, and the issue with bean stubble is that this is quite fibrous. There you go, look at that little fibre there, and it will get stuck in with the disc. There we go, I've got a new helper today, so and much to the combine driver's enjoyment. So there you go, that's the, and these tend to get stuck between the disc and the coulter, which then acts as a brake. So it can be quite challenging drilling with a disc coulter after beans. Overall, we managed 32.3 hectares of beans that day, yielding an average of 6.3 tonnes per hectare, which was an improvement on last week. I found this surprising as these beans were drilled later on the 18th of October into wet soils and suffered from water damage patches throughout the growing season. Good afternoon everybody, welcome back. It's Saturday and we are out with the Cunero again a conventional system, so this is a straight mustard application, and it's been going quite nicely actually. It's a relatively large block on some light land, so just having a look at the plan. 70 hectares of broadcasting here. Good morning everybody, welcome back to the channel. So this week we finished off our beans, so that was another 30 odd hectares of winter beans that we got in before the rain. Our spring wheat still isn't ready. As you can see, we still have green tram lines in this spring wheat, and our agronomist has visited and given us recommendations for others to spray off the regenerative spring wheat, mostly to take account of the weed burden. But this is conventional spring wheat, so we haven't got a recommendation for this. We're just going to go straight in. Although it is worth saying, a bit like, although the spring wheat is more weed burden, thank you Labrador, get out of it. We have got green ears, occasional green ears like this fellow, and this sort of late or secondary growth is part of the reason we are holding off. And as you can see, not so much here, but in the field next door, plenty of ears were beginning to sort of bend over, so they are much fitter. It's something like this, or this one with a bit of green in the bottom, a bit taller. But when they start bending over like that, we're really ready. So I would hope, we had significant rain yesterday, not massive amount, haven't looked at the rain gauge, but I'm guessing about 5 millimeters. So we'll wait for this to dry out, and I think we'll push on into this spring wheat. There's some high temperatures forecast for this week, and that would be nice to finally make a move into the spring wheat. I think we would be about 2 days here, 4 or 5 days of combining spring wheat, and we should be finished. So fingers crossed we get a nice run at it. Of course, if we do glyphosate that regenerative spring wheat, then of course that introduces 10 days. So even if we sprayed it on Monday, bank holiday Monday, we would still have to wait 10 days, so it would be well into the week after, which would be into September. So that's not unusual, sort of the 5th of September. We'd be looking to finish 5th to 9th, that's sort of our guidance date. So I think we're still on schedule, and considering how late drilling was, that will be a nice turn up for the books, that we still managed to finish combining in a reasonable time frame. But time will tell.